to the K-Files. Good morning, JP.
Good morning, Miss Sandra.
We are back in place. Sometimes we just cannot be in place. We have things happening, and hope everybody at your house is well.
Everybody's good. You know, I was listening earlier about the additional broadcast areas. Let me tell you, I live down in Middlesex. I live literally, my property's on the Johnson County line.
Right.
Sheriff Bizzle, let me tell you something. He is very well loved in Johnston County, just like Sheriff Stone is here in Nash.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the deputies. I know the sheriff himself. I'm already looking forward to trying to get him on. I did not realize y'all were going to be broadcasting down into Johnston County.
Yeah, it depends on your antenna. On antenna, we have a whopping new transmitter and antenna that we have put in place, and it is finished. It's been a little painful. We had to go off the air a time or two. But, my engineer teaches me to get something good, there's always got to be some give and take.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. But anyway, we're 30. The FCC made us change our channel. We used to be antenna channel 31 for years. We are now 30. We had to move down. Everybody had to move down. So every station had to do it. All the stations had to move down in the spectrum so that they could have the bandwidth they wanted to sell to cell phone companies and just get billions and billions of dollars. So anyway, so we're on 30, and we have gotten a lot of calls from Lucama. We've got calls from Kinley. We even got a call from Smithfield.
Micro is in that general area.
We could get, that's right.
Yeah, it sure is. It's between Kinley and Smithfield, Selma. Okay.
And I've talked to two people in Hollister this way, and Halifax, some people. So we're all excited, and Leggett, little old way down there, Leggett is picking us up.
Well, good
loud
deal.
And clear.
Good. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Good.
So anyway, we hope you'll join us. If you have any questions about the station, please call us. We're a local television station right here in Rocky Mount, and we have some really good programming. And if you like local stuff, because as much as I love Channel 11, Channel 5, I don't take anything away from them. They do a great job at news. At what they do a great job. But we do a great job. You're not going to turn over there and get the entire parade with your son marching in the band. You're not going to see your son's football game in its entirety. You're not going to see these things, a morning show talking about 2 hours of your community.
Right.
You're not going to see it anywhere but right here. Right here. So, Channel 17 on Optimum they are now. And Greenlight, we're on 919 and 19. So we're on their HD channel, and we're on their lower SD. So anyway,
down my way, I watch the live.
You're on stream, and we stream live, which we're changing that up now. So the stream's going to be down some. It was down some last week, and people put comments on Facebook, and they didn't know what they were talking about. Don't believe everything you hear on Facebook, because there's a lot of non-truths. We talked about that in a meeting yesterday. They said, somebody said so-and-so and so, and it's not true. I said, look, you gotta. But anyway, so we do stream WHIGTV.com, but we are trying to build our own streaming platform so that we're not reliant on any internet here at Wesleyan. We want to get our own streaming platform so that we don't stream from another company that's down, and we have no control when it goes down. So anyway, we're trying to do that. So we may be down on streaming off and on, my engineer said. He said this one may be a little painful too. But when we get to the end, it's going to be so good. So we look forward to it.
Good.
So now let's talk about the event that's coming up. What date is that?
We've got the Highway Patrol Caisson Unit fundraiser. And the Highway Patrol, we rely a lot on this because 100% of the money that we raise at this goes to maintain the Caisson Unit, feed the horses, board them, things like that. This is coming up November 18th, 2023. right here at Rocky Mountain Mills. It'll be from 5 o'clock to 9. It's going to be all you can eat oysters, shrimp, fish, barbecue with all of the fixings. Again, their goal is to raise enough money to support the maintenance of the unit for an entire year. We did have to go up a little bit on the price. It's $75 a person, but again, think of it as you're making a donation to the Highway Patrol Caisson unit and you're
Right.
getting a free meal out of it.
Don't buy things from a fundraiser if you're expecting them to be. Oak level plates. I heard somebody say, "Oh, they went up from 10 to 12." Listen, I'm going to get 2 tomorrow night for my dinner, and I'm going to feel good about it because it's going to be delicious. And number 2, I'm going to feel good about it because I have contributed to students, to kids, scholarships in my community. Yes, this is a fundraiser. It's not going to be, a sit-down dinner at Mayflower, the price of that, a seafood dinner. It is a fundraiser, but you don't get, look what you get. And Nixon's doing this again?
They usually do it, and I'm under the impression that they're going to do it this year again. I haven't been told.
I just went to the oyster roast, the chamber oyster roast, and they were the ones that did that. And they did y'all's thing last time. And I'm going to tell
They've
you
done
right
us
now,
for years.
they are so organized. They're organized. It is wonderful. So anyway.
What were your tickets? Were they 75?
For the oyster roast, they were 85, I believe.
85,
this year.
okay,
They were
okay.
85 this time.
But y'all went up too.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Everything's going
Yeah,
up.
everything goes up.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. Have you been in the grocery store?
Yeah.
Honestly,
You get $200 worth of groceries for about 75.
you get about 4 bags.
Yeah.
If you get $200, 4 or 5 bags. Used to, you got 10. So, it's just the way it is, So, anyway, please get these tickets because the Caisson unit is and if you have a loved one in law enforcement, you never know
Yeah.
when they will be using the Caisson for somebody in your family.
That's right. And folks, I will deliver these to you. Just call me or text me 919-369-0311, 919-369-0311. I'll bring them to you, right to your doorstep.
Okay.
We're counting on you for some support.
Absolutely, yes. And that's November 18th?
November 18th.
Okay. And it's at the Mills.
Yes, ma'am. Rocky Mountain Mills.
Okay.
5 to 9.
All right. So we can talk about some cases, but before we get into our book, I was talking on the show this morning I said we'll talk on the K-Files about a case that really bothered me. JP, I cannot stand child abuse.
Me neither.
That bothers me to no end. So, every week we say there's always one bad case that we bring out. We brought out one the last time. And so the police department sent me a press release, and I said, "You're kidding me." An 8-year-old child was beat with a electric cord. And he was bleeding really bad, they said. Bleeding, took him to the hospital. They do have the father in custody. I hope he's under a large bond. But, there's just no excuse. There's just not.
Children can't defend themselves.
No, 8 years old,
And I don't care what the child did. I don't care what that child did.
There's nothing they can do that
That's
warrants
exactly
that.
right.
Nothing. There's just no excuse. But I'm going to read this press release. Got to find it real quick. But anyway, I'm just going to read this. It's on Fatina Court. If you know where Fatina Court is, it might be your neighbor. So, you need to know about these things. Okay. At 7:30 p.m. on October 24th, officers responded to the Edgecombe Meadows apartment complex for a report of child abuse at 101A Fatina Court. The preliminary investigation revealed that the victim was an 8-year-old boy that suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The juvenile was evaluated and treated as a local at a local hospital and is safely with his mother. So his parents, I don't think, lived together. And he was, at that time, visiting his father, I guess. But anyway, the Edgecombe County Department of Social Services was contacted for assistance with the investigation. As the investigation continued, officers learned the child was abused by his father, Dominique Gerard Brown, 33. Dominique Gerard Brown, 33 years old. He has unserved warrants for felony intentional child abuse, suffering from a cord, being beaten with a cord.
You know, my hat's off, number one, to law enforcement, for remaining calm on that call. Because I'm going to tell you something, it would have took everything in me not to have lost my mind and gone hands-on if I saw that.
Yes. And see, I could not be, let me tell you, I could not be in law enforcement. You are, I could not be. And this is why. Law enforcement has to remain professional.
That's exactly right.
And I can't. Not in a case like this. It's not in me. Can't do it. But my hat's off to law enforcement because they see a lot, JP. They see a lot. You know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they have to remain professional. They have to treat all of these criminals. They have to treat them with respect.
Yeah. And you know, responding to cases like that, when I was a Nash County deputy, you know, it was hard to get a 911 call and I would respond and I'd knock on the door, domestic violence. And I've had cases where a woman would answer the door, blood on her face, and she would say, "Please leave." And I'm like, "No, ma'am, I'm coming in. Please, please leave. Please. He's calmed down. Please, please leave."
She knew what she was going to get later.
That's exactly right. That's right. And it was good to me at this point to go in and say, "Brother, put your shoes on, put your shirt on, you're going with me." And they would be like, sometimes they would kind of come and go. They know who to pick a fight with, and they know who not to.
Yes.
And men like that typically love to go hands on a female.
Right.
Somebody that they see as weak, but somebody who they see in authority, uniform, somebody that they felt like could take them, they're like a towering coward. Okay?
Yeah.
And there I stood, just give me a reason. You know, and that was hard to deal with. Thank God I didn't deal with anything involving a child like this because I would have lost my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let's take our break and we will come back and get started on some cases this morning. I know you want to hear about some, so we'll be right back.
Clipped at 6/17/2007.
Oh, we went to the front, didn't we?
This is Jaleesa Reynolds is where the last
Oh yeah,
one.
we did. Yeah, we were doing her
That was
with Jimmy.
All right. And we're back.
We are back. And we are looking in our book to see what case we are going to do next. JP, I'll let you
Okay. Well, let's jump in here with Roger Wade Askew, and the reason for that is I saw it. Fighting Crime had a write-up on this past week, trying to get information on it.
Right.
Roger Wade Askew. This case is from September 2009. Roger Wade Askew, known as Kojak, is the brother of Kimberly Hancock, who was charged in the murder of Debbie Deans, who went missing 15 years ago. After a tip to Fighting Crime, Debbie Deans' body was found behind a residence of Kimberly K. Privet Hancock in a shallow grave among trash and other debris back in October 2019. Hancock was charged with first-degree murder that same day. Hancock was also arrested in 1989 and charged with manslaughter after killing her father. He was shot in the face as he slept. She spent less than a year in prison for that crime, as she claimed that her father had abused her. There has been much speculation around the disappearance of Roger Wade Askew, known as Kojak, since Hancock's arrest. Many have stated that Kojak knew about his sister killing Debbie Deans, and she feared he would share that information with authorities, so she killed him. There has also been speculation that his body is buried under a cement slab somewhere in Franklin or Nash County. There has been no hard evidence of either of these stories. Someone knows what happened to Kojak. The disappearance of Roger Askew is actually a Franklin County case. Again, Roger Wade Askew, September 2009. Sounds like he comes from, well, he at least had a tough sister.
Yeah, sounded like it. Good gracious. Well, if anybody knows anything about this case, please come forward. They need your help. They need your help in solving this crime.
I believe this case is going to be out, again, just inside of Franklin County, but on the other side of Spring Hope. Somewhere there off of old US 64 in that general area, like you're going out towards Pilot.
Well, you know, all of these crimes are solvable. And we have $15,000 sitting there just waiting for somebody to claim up to $15,000 in our pot. We pay out immediately. You do not have to go to court, wait for your money. It's not upon conviction, it is upon arrest. And we will pay you. It's anonymous. We won't know who you are. You will deal with law enforcement, and you can call the number on the screen, 406-6736, 406-6736. You can also call the law enforcement agency. You can call Franklin County. I mean, you can. So all of these, there's several. I would say text a tip. That's Rocky Mount. So I guess you can always call Crime Stoppers, 977-1111. They can get you to the right agency. Even though this is Twin County Crime Stoppers, Halifax County has a Crime Stoppers of their own. I don't know. Franklin County might have one. I don't know. But anyway, anybody you call at law enforcement can get you to the right place. If you have a tip, please come forward, or you can call that number on the hotline number on the screen. So anyway, we hope somebody knows something about Roger Wade Askew. 9/2009, September 2009.
Okay, this next case is from June 24th, 2013. Amy Wells Bridgman. Amy Wells Bridgman, she was 42 years old when she was last seen around 6:30 a.m. on Monday, June 24th, 2013, on Elm Street in South Weldon. Residents of her home told police that she left the residence, leaving her purse behind, and was never seen again. Amy's family has stated that she would not just disappear and not contact them. 4 days later, on June 28, 2013, her husband received a text from Amy's phone. Details of this text message have not been made public. Amy was not reported missing until June 29th, 2013. So that was 4 days after she was last known to have been seen around 6/24/2013, 6:30 a.m.
This is
4
another
days.
one of our missing persons.
Yes.
It is. 2013, Elm Street in Weldon.
How many women do you know that leave the home without their purse?
Exactly. And Weldon is such a small area. It's such a small little town
Yeah.
that, you know, somebody should come forward. Somebody knows something. Somebody knows something about this crime. And yeah, who walks out without their purse? What female walks out without their purse, really? So
That means whatever happened, I would speculate it happened
yes, Yep.
quick, fast, in a hurry, and it happened at home.
that's right. Exactly. So if you know anything about Amy Wells Bridgman, please come forward.
This next case is from August 4th, 2015. Isabel Calvo Palacios. August 4th, 2015. Isabel Calvo Palacios was reported missing to the Wilson Police Department. The investigation led investigators to 4710 Ward Boulevard in Wilson, which later led to the arrest of Gregory Kent Parks. On November 15, 2017, a Pitt County jury found Gregory Kent Parks guilty of first-degree murder by the commission of attempted second-degree rape and by the commission of second-degree kidnapping, as well as guilty of first-degree kidnapping, obtaining property by false pretenses, and obtaining the status of a habitual felon. However, the body of Ms. Palacios was never located. Palacios' photograph and other information are available online at NamUs, and it's www.findthemissing.org, and her case number is 30039.
Wow.
That they must have had some really strong evidence
Yes.
to get convictions in that, because that is rare.
Yes. And here we go again. If you don't have the body, you cannot convict them
Yeah.
of murder.
It's
You
like
cannot.
unheard of.
I mean, it just don't happen. I remember, as we've said so many times, the Edgecombe County case, right now, there's a case that they can't find the bodies, so they feel like the daughter did it, but,
They would have had to have some really incriminating evidence, like a text message or a conversation admitting that he did it. I mean, very strong. Because, like you say, I mean, it's almost unheard of to get a conviction with charges like this without a body.
but he was found guilty of first-degree murder by the commission of attempted second-degree murder, rape, kidnapping. Wow.
Sad.
It is. It
But-
really is.
But I'm sure her family would love to know where that body is.
Yes,
If anybody knows
absolutely.
anything, please reach out and share that information.
Yes. Well, here we are back to Tammy Grady again.
This case here has been talked about
It
online,
has.
Fighting Crime, on our show numerous times. Tammy Grady.
Heart of Wilson
Yeah.
Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Motel.
This case is from November 28th, 2019. Tammy Grady was reported missing by her family. Her date of disappearance is listed as November 28th, 2019. However, Tammy had not been in contact with her family for the week prior to that. It is possible that she went missing before the 28th of November. Her sister, Christy Ruffin, had last spoken to Tammy by phone on November 23rd, 2019 at around 11 o'clock p.m. Tammy has not contacted anyone in her family since that time, namely her sister Christy or her youngest brother Horace, who she had maintained daily contact with. There have been no transactions on Tammy's EBT card since November 23rd, 2019, nor has there been any activity on Tammy's social media, which is unusual, such as Facebook, because it had been one of Tammy's primary ways of communication. Tammy was using the cell phone of Dario Santos, whom she had recently started staying with at 806 LV Street South in Wilson. Santos advised shortly after midnight Tammy left with Patrick Highsmith to go to a local motel, the Heart of Wilson, located at 501 Nash Street West in downtown Wilson. Neither of these men have been named as suspect at this point. Tammy's sister, Christy Ruffin, has been begging the public for answers in her disappearance. She has accepted that Tammy may have been hurt, but just wants to know where she is so the family can have closure and peace. There have been tips on her disappearance, and the Wilson Police Department continues to work with those tips. Grady is 5'4", 120 pounds, has brown hair and blue eyes. Is this the case where the cab driver recently passed away? And he was one of the last people that really had credible interaction with her before she was last
She
seen.
supposedly got in a cab at the Heart of Wilson, and the cab driver took her to a party. But speculation has it that the cab driver was kind of in on it.
Yeah, I thought this was the case.
That's just speculation. Unfortunately, he has passed away, so that's the end of that. But anyway, I don't think she ever left the party, except for her body to be put somewhere. So anyway, it's bad situation, and her sister wants closure so bad. Her sister came on here on the K-Files and just begged somebody to come forward. And anyway, nobody's coming forward. But in this case, people know something, because there was a party. Again, there was a party. So anyway, all right, we got to go to break. We'll be right back with you with more of the K-Files right after this. Welcome back. Back to the Tammy Grady case, just to say another word or two about it. Folks, this was a party. People know something. You know something over in Wilson or wherever. You know something about this case of Tammy Grady. This family needs closure. This family has been begging for closure. And we need you to help anonymously by calling that number on that hotline right now, because you could do your part. You know something. If you know something, say something. So the next case is kind of the case I was just referring to in Edgecombe County. This case is a very intriguing case to me.
It is.
Anyway.
There's a lot of oddities in this case. And we've talked about it numerous times, and Fighting Crime has highlighted it numerous times online. Stephen Frederick McRae. This case is from January 3rd, 2020. Stephen Frederick McRae was 63 years old and was known as Steve. He is a white male with brown gray hair, blue eyes, approximately 5'6", weighs 145 pounds. He has a staggering walk and also suffers from dementia. He was last seen wearing a white and gray t-shirt, blue jeans, white shoes with tape on them, a dark colored coat, and a hat. He does frequent the areas of Princeville, Tarboro, and South Rocky Mount. He was last seen on January 3rd, 2020, around 4 o'clock in the afternoon at 767 Robertson School Road in Tarboro, North Carolina. Earlier in the day on January 3rd, 2020, a friend went to check on Mr. McRae and was going to take him to pay a few bills, but he decided not to go. Later that day, he contacted his mother and told her he was not feeling well. That is the last time anyone's seen or heard from him. His son reported him missing just a few days later. There are suspicious circumstances around his disappearance. Overnight on January 3rd to the morning of January 4th, it was 59 degrees and rainy, with rain sometimes heavy with gusty winds. It just doesn't make sense for someone to walk away willingly from their home with nothing on but the clothes that they have on their back in January and in the rain. What is even more suspicious is that Stephen McRae's debit card has been used multiple times after he was reported missing. On January 28th, 25 days after his disappearance, one of his daughters, Brittany Nancy Lee McRae, of 174 Otis Lane in Rocky Mount, was charged with identity theft, financial card theft, and 2 counts of obtaining property by false pretense after she used his card to withdraw funds from his account after he was reported missing. Twice she withdrew $500 from his card using an ATM. She was placed in the Edgecombe County Jail and given a $50,000 bond that was later reduced to $10,000. The charges were ultimately dismissed as there is no victim to be able to testify since Mr. McRae is missing. Some undisclosed items from his residence are also missing. Fighting crime reached out to Brittany and she refused to talk or tell her side of the story. Now, from a law enforcement perspective, I don't get why the charges were dismissed.
Me either.
If they've got bank records, they see her on film, they've got a camera, they see her taking this money. Okay.
First of all, they were lowered. Her bond was lowered.
Yeah. This was under the previous DA. Let's say that. That should have never been done.
No.
They should have prosecuted her to the fullest extent of the law and turned some screws and see if they could have got some information about what might have really happened and taken place. I would have gone through what she had been up to, her and her boyfriend, on a timeline during the time that her dad disappeared. Because I don't know about you, but now I wouldn't use my mom's debit card to take out $1,000, $1,500 unless I knew for a fact she won't never gonna find out.
That's exactly right. I mean, the evidence, which is Mr. McRae, because he could have testified, it was destroyed.
Mm-hmm. But there's nothing for him to testify to if they caught her on video doing a withdrawal.
Right.
If they had proof that she used that debit, the evidence is in the video.
Yes, really.
So I don't understand the dismissal in that.
I don't either. Edgecombe County has addressed this twice, and they can't say that much about it because it is an ongoing investigation, but I can't know that information, but I want to so bad.
Me too.
And they want to tell, but they can't.
Yeah.
Edgecombe County, we are going to ask them next month. I hope they'll be able to come, and we're going to ask them about this case again, because I would like to. It's just very, the daughter. It's just so obvious. The daughter withdrew money from her father's account. She stole his card, and
if he went missing, I'd want to know why won't his card, just like a woman in her purse, a man in his wallet and his debit cards. Okay, we're typically one and the same.
Right.
My cards are with me. Your purse, most of the time when you leave home, it's with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how did his cards get from his wallet to her possession?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it mentions her boyfriend in here, I believe. Well, I hope they never part ways, because
a lot of crimes are solved when boyfriends and girlfriends break up.
That's
and
right.
They start,
That's exactly right.
telling on each other.
Well, if anybody knows anything about Mr. McRae's murder, I don't know where this street is in Tarboro, but 767 Robertson School Road. If you live in Tarboro, I'm sure you know. Please come forward. I mean, people in Princeville, because he walked a lot. So people in Princeville probably knew who he was. People in, it says he frequented South Rocky Mount. So, I mean, people knew who Mr. McCray was. If you know anything, please call the number. Okay, I think we can do, let's see, I think we can do Lacey Bunch real quick.
Okay. Lacey Bunch, this case is from December 20th, 2020. Around 6:30 a.m. on December 20th, 2020, 72-year-old Lacey Bunch disappeared from his residence on Bell Street in Enfield. Family members state that they heard Bunch leave the residence sometime around 6:30 a.m. that morning. They soon realized that he was missing when his shoes were left behind. It was 36 degrees that morning, and Lacey left without shoes and only had the clothes on his back. Halifax County Sheriff's Office has conducted multiple searches and have come up empty-handed.
It's just like the other case with the female leaving her pocketbook behind. You know, this is the same thing. You're not going to leave home at that temperature with your without your shoes. You're just not.
Yeah.
It's just obvious there's foul play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just obvious.
Who goes outside at 6:30 in the morning barefoot?
Yeah,
It's 36. Who does that? It doesn't happen.
36 degrees,
It doesn't happen.
no. And the only thing he took or had with him were the clothes on his back. So, just very strange.
And stop and think, at 6:30 in the morning in December, it's dark outside. If the family members heard him jump up, stir around or whatever, are you not going to go look out the window?
Right.
Are you not going to get up just to make sure nothing shady is going on, that something is not wrong, that somebody didn't just break in? I mean, again, it's some odd facts here.
Yes, it is, because they said they heard him leave the residence around 6:30 that morning. He's not going to leave the residence that morning like that.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder who lived with him.
Yeah.
Was it a cousin? Was it a wife? Was it a... Who'd he live with?
Roommate.
Yeah, I would like to know who he lived with, be my first question. Because that right there rings a bell in your thought process. So anyway, thank you for joining us for the K-Files this morning. We'll be back next week, we hope, with more, and might have some guests coming up. So stay tuned. Keep watching.